Can everyone hear us okay so far?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
We'll just
We'll
be
just be
cognizant of everyone's time. We're having a little bit of a blowback on volume here, but Pam and I are meeting at Mandy's house and she is not currently here. They are enjoying themselves in sunny LA, having a good time. So she called me this morning and asked if I would jump in and just meet with everyone. And of course, Pam is joining me today to go over some stuff here as well after we're done this meeting. So yeah, welcome everyone. I don't know, I want to be diligent with our time here, and I'm not sure who else. We know Louisa wasn't going to be showing up today. Does anyone know if anyone else wasn't coming? Oh, and Joyce will be late. But I haven't heard anything from Lisa. Oh, there's Susan. Awesome. Yeah, anyway, I'll just keep yapping until more people jump on. Mandy and I had a meeting. Hi, Susan. Welcome back.
Hi, lady.
Yeah, I don't know,
So-
those of you who don't know that Susan just got back from Peru not too long ago on her big walk. How amazing was it?
It's so amazing. 5 days of hiking a mountain, sleeping in a tent, 5 days no shower.
And you did it.
It was really good.
I loved it too. That was probably one of my favorite places I've ever been.
Yeah, it was
The journey is pretty amazing.
hard, but
You did it.
Yeah.
Okay.
and there was like a ton of like 40-year-olds, and you know how old I am. And
Yeah.
I was always like way ahead of them. So I was like,
Good for you.
So-
Good for you.
so when we talk about this, the run for bravery, of course I'm going to be there doing a 10K with Mandy.
Yeah, of course you are. Okay, and on that note, I guess we'll get going. Joyce is going to show up late. I'm not sure Lisa didn't reach out or anything, and I don't know who else is missing right now. So if you
Okay, I'm going to.
Mandy Watson, I think, is missing, and
Mandy.
so is Leanne.
Okay. Okay, well, I think it is recording, so they'll get this after the fact. So Mandy and I had a meeting last week with Alita. And for those of you who didn't know Cody or knew him, but didn't know anything about his relationships or anything, Alita was an ex-girlfriend and they were still really, really good friends right until he passed. Super close. And we reached out to her just to see what her take was on the fundraiser and what she thought about what we were doing and what her ideas were. And one thing that she did bring up, and I also was concerned about that, is that Cody didn't like to be defined by the things that he went through. He didn't want to be known as somebody who is a victim of sexual abuse. He always talked about that it happened. And for those of you that don't know, Cody and I were friends for like 10 years before he started coming to the studio and before he kind of got involved in the spiritual world and finding himself. So I worked with him he was our Aboriginal liaison at ATCO when I worked there. And we became really good friends. And he was not the same person that a lot of you knew if you knew him. The last 4 years of his life were dedicated to his spirituality and really discovering who he was and what his gifts were to the world. Before he started coming to the studio, he really wasn't involved in his Aboriginal roots. As a matter of fact, he tried to run away from them unless it could get him what he wanted for his job. So awesome person, but just a really different type of person before he became into the spiritual world and finding all of this stuff out. So I got to know him and Alita as well before he started turning his life around and being so kind and generous to other people. Because when I knew him, not that he wasn't kind and generous, but just in a different way, he was more focused on himself and quite money oriented. So he really did a 180 when he started going down his spiritual path. And I just want people to know that there was other sides to him. And that's the thing that Alita brought up, is that, you know, there was a lot of people that got left out of his stories and his telling at the funeral. And these people would really like a chance to have a voice for people to learn who Cody really was as a person from their perspective. So Alita actually asked if we could maybe, she would actually reach out to these people on our behalf. And what we'd like to do is have people that knew him send in a little video or a little clip about him and his life and how they knew him and the fun things that he did and who he was as a person, and not just a victim of sexual abuse. So we've kind of gonna put that back to you guys and just say, if any of you had any interactions with him, we would love a little clip or a little video or something that we can include in the social media stuff that might be going out about the run and whatnot that's happening. She also suggested that, and I thinks that it's a great idea for the Be Brave Ranch, but also that he was such an animal lover, and that if maybe some of the proceeds could maybe be donated, you know, like a 75-25 and a 25% maybe to like a humane society. Or he was so into the animals and his dogs and like rescuing all sorts of horses and any animal out there at all. He was really into that kind of stuff. And she said, you know, just think about it, talk to your group and see maybe if they thought that was a good idea as well. Yeah, and just she had some good ideas. We started a Google Drive group that Pam will invite all of you to, and then it'll have all the information in there, all the meeting stuff that we've discussed and all of that. So we'll be sending that out to you guys either today or tomorrow on this Google Drive. So you'll just get an invite into your email, and then you can respond, and then you'll see all the meeting minutes, all the things that we're discussing and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, so Pam and I this morning called the Be Brave Ranch and spoke to a lady there who her name is Shannon, and she takes care of all the fundraising. And it's really tough because the logistics of all of this, they're huge with fundraising, and you have to get permits and you have to go through all of this stuff. And she gave us some really good information, and I'm going to pass it over to Pam and let her kind of discuss that.
So she talked about like we could do online donations and maybe split or let people decide where they want the money to go to if we decide to which animal rescue that we want to use, whether it's the Humane Society or SPCA. And we would also have to talk to those people as well, whoever we decide. And maybe we talk to them and decide from there, you know, once we get a handle on, you know, if they would be open to working with us to get these donations. And so we could have like, we could do it either like online donations, which then we would create a simple Google document, and it would just be a platform where people would just e-transfer, because everybody knows how to e-transfer, and we don't have, you know, we wouldn't have to have like people have paying by Visa or debit. So then I think that would simplify things a lot. She also mentioned crowdfunding. I'm not really familiar with that. I really like the idea of the Google platform because it's just a link and you can share it with people. What else did she talk about? And we would, or we could have like, she talked about having a form like for each participant. And so then you could ask, you could send people the link and say, you know, if you want to sponsor me, I'm doing this run. This is what it's for. We can do that as well.
Okay. We're just looking at Kristen and oh yes, Susan, yes. She put in the chat here to go to Bandy's first podcast, and that was the one that she did with Cody. So if any of you haven't listened to that one yet, that's a really good one to go in and listen to, and you kind of get a bit of his background. And he does talk about the sexual abuse in there as well. Like you get a really good idea of who he was as a person and where he was going. And then we just see Kristen here. Thank you for that. She said she fosters dogs with AARCS, and they're amazing smaller organization in Edmonton and Calgary, and they would be a good option. So Kristen, do you know if they have fundraising capabilities and whatnot? They do have people that do that. Okay.
They do it. It's constant. I follow them on Instagram as well. But if that's the route we chose to go, I could reach out to somebody there.
Okay. And what is the acronym for that? Like,
Animal something rescue something. I don't know. It's called,
Okay.
they just say ARCs. I
Okay.
don't know. But my experience with them has been really so good. They're really, really great.
I like
not-
that they're in Edmonton and Calgary, so they kind of cover a lot of the province, which is
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
And like I said, Cody was such an animal lover that I do feel that that would be really cool if we could do a little bit for them as well. What is everyone's idea on having like 2 places to donate the money to?
Mhm.
Yeah. Is ARCS, Kristen, the one that goes to the reserves? I do
Yeah.
know Saving Grace goes to the reserves too and gathers dogs.
From what I understand, a majority of their dogs, I just speak dog because that's what I foster, but they come from the reserves. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm actually thinking that one of Cody's dogs actually came from ARCS because he did rescue both of his dogs. And one of them was with an organization that did get one of them from a reservation. So that name just sounded familiar, but I didn't know what the main name was, but I think it was ARCS actually. So that would be kind of cool as well.
Yeah. Yep.
What about, I can't remember the lady. I just met her at the Wild Woman, Wild Roses. She has a horse one, so we could do like maybe a dog and then a horse. Does anybody know her name? Elise. And she was beside, she was
Yeah,
with Elise. I won their basket or whatever last year. I can't remember the organization.
that's where Elise had the Mary Magdalene for those couple of years, right?
Mhm.
The only thing is when we were talking to this lady from the Be Brave Ranch, Little Warriors, she was saying the more places you get involved, the harder it becomes to separate the money. So we need to kind of keep that in mind as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's good to know that and good to talk about that as well.
So I had a question. If you're going to do it on a Google Doc to register and everything, you would have your links there.
Yeah,
Could you not have it like they could pick then like this
yes.
much? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There'll be 2 links there, so they
Yeah,
can
just
either
so that we don't
grade
have to
or-
worry about
Yes,
separating everything. And I know like I use Google Docs all the time.
yeah,
And the forms, and they're great because then you can get a spreadsheet after and it shows exactly what went where.
yes.
Because we use them at the school all the time, and I even use them as my waivers for my yoga studio. So I have that all in one spot.
Yeah,
They're
and that's kind of
fantastic.
what she said, if we could, if people wanted to get sponsors friends, family, coworkers, whatever, to sponsor them for the walk itself, you would just send them the links and they could choose whether they wanted to donate to the animal side or to the Be Brave Ranch. So, and then they get tax receipts if it's over $25. So that also is a bonus.
Gears. Susan mentioned gears. So is that all types of animals, Susan? Like not just dogs particularly?
Yeah, there's so many places. It's
There's
really,
so many places to
fun.
go to. Yeah.
yeah,
I just know Gears is because Michelle and Steven, they went to Peru with me, and they have 3 dogs that they are fostering or 4 dogs that they're fostering right now, right from the reserves that they go to the reserves every weekend. And yeah, so there's tons of organizations.
and then it becomes
Yeah.
a thing of like who needs it, right?
Mhm.
They all do.
Yeah, and I think you know, we need to find out how hard it is to work with companies like this, and if people will get a tax receipt and so on and so forth. So there's a little bit of digging into that information that needs to be figured out. Yeah, it's tough. Mandy also wanted me to, when she created the group, she really wanted to not be as involved as she is, but she also has a really hard time with delegating things to people. So is there anybody in the group right now that would be willing to put together the social media, the page on her Facebook for the run itself with all of the information? I'm not good at that stuff. Is there anybody that would be?
What like just a post about it on her page?
It would be an actual page set up underneath her, and this page would be dedicated to the whole thing with the run, and then all of the posters, all of the social media stuff would all go onto that page within her Facebook account. And we would give somebody the code and whatever else to get in there to create the page.
Yeah, like I have a Canva account, like a Canva Pro. So I mean, I can certainly help make posters and stuff. Like that's, you know, that part of it's easy. It's just I need to know what content you want in it.
Yeah, and it's just actually to make the page and then to like, I don't even know how to
Manage it.
do all of that stuff, but
Yeah, so is it kind of like what we did, like when we advertised like stuff for, you know, like what do you want? Like just like a Facebook advertisement and then with links to, then you would want a link to the Google document in there.
no, this would just be front facing. So right now, Mandy has her main account.
Mhm.
And then, believe it or not, the actual lifestyle meditation group, that's 6,000 people plus, is
Mhm.
actually a page that she set up underneath her own account. So that's not its own Facebook account. That's a page set up underneath Mandy's own account. So
Okay,
this would just
page
be another page that would get created.
for
That
me,
would be part
for
of,
run.
yeah,
I can do it.
dedicated. Who's that?
Shannon,
Oh, thanks, Shannon.
Yeah, and Shannon, if you need any help, like doing like posters and stuff, let me know and I'll help you with it. Just let me
Yeah,
know.
and then that all of those can be put into that page after the fact.
Okay.
I
Posters
just
and
need yeah, just the content that you want and I can figure it out.
awesome.
Yeah, and Shannon, do you have Canva Pro? Because I could add you to my account if you didn't. Okay.
I do. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies. So that's one thing off of Mandy's plate. She'll be very happy about that. What else did we need to talk about? So is everybody okay with us? And maybe we just put it to a vote within the group. We'll send you guys an email and you can vote on which animal rescue that we're gonna go to. Maybe do a little research and reading up on them and just see. And if we put a vote to all of the ambassadors in the group, I feel like that would be fair. Because again, there's so many out there.
I would be willing to do the research and share it with all of us, so we each have a sort of informed idea.
That would be awesome.
Because I mean, I'm pro ARCs, but I'm sure
Yes.
they're all wonderful. They all rescue animals. Like it's all a good thing, but just maybe some will be easier to deal with in terms of fundraising than others.
If you could take that on for us, Kristen, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
I can do that.
you. Okay.
for sure.
Now we got Kristen.
And,
doing that.
Should I just post that on our page? Like anything or where do I put that?
Yeah, you can put that in the Google Docs that we'll be inviting you guys to, or the Google Drive that we'll be inviting you guys to
Okay,
for this. Yeah.
okay.
Put that
Jackie?
in. Yes, my love.
Is there a ETA on when you want that page to be created?
I think
Is it-
Mandy said by June 15th, we would like to announce the run and all of everything will be done by June 15th to go live.
Okay,
So that gives a bit of time to get stuff set up and
Mhm.
to get all of the fundraising stuff figured out and
can I ask you a question? Did you get a sense from Alita, is that how you say her name?
Alita, yeah.
That she didn't want the Be Brave Ranch aspect and she just wanted the animal aspect?
No, because
Or-
that was a part of his life as well, and Cody was involved with the Be Brave Ranch. That was important to him as well. But she
Okay.
just didn't want that defining who he was. That he wasn't just a victim, like he had all of these other traits about him as well, so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and definitely the majority of it going to the Be Brave Ranch, like a 75-25 split is what we were hoping. But then if people are allowed to choose their own, it may not be a 75-25. So it just, they're happy to get, any charity's happy to get whatever donations they can get. So, yeah. And I think if we do it this way with the Google Docs and stuff, then people can go in and they can choose if they're sponsoring somebody to do the run or the walk. They can go in and choose which charity they want to donate to. We'll give them the outline of what both of them do and what they stand for. And then people can go in and choose which one they want to donate to on your behalf, basically.
And I think she mentioned that you need to, in order to get a tax receipt, you need to make a $25 or greater donation.
Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone have any other questions regarding that? No. Okay.
Sorry, I do have one more question.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, I like this. I'm just now kind of putting myself out and pretending I'm someone who's coming to learn about this. And I don't, like, is it going to be too, not confusing, but too undirect? I can't think of words today, guys.
Yeah,
If
no,
we have two,
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
instead of just one goal, we have two. Just to think about it, maybe from an outside perspective, if you
Yeah,
were
and this is
looking
good because we need to discuss this. If it's too scattered or too not direct enough for people. I do understand what you're saying, and that's what the group here is to discuss this kind of stuff, right?
What are you
Does
guys
anyone
saying?
else- Yeah, does anyone else have anything
Well,
about
I
that?
agree. Yeah, Shannon, I hear what you're saying totally. But I was wondering if we really tell the story of Cody, then it doesn't become so scattered. If these are two things that one thing happened to him and one thing he chose to be involved in. If we paint that story, if we tell that story good enough, maybe it won't feel so scattered.
But as a person, don't like sponsoring a walker runner, like, are they going to take the time? Like, I guess it's the person that is doing the walk and asking your friends, okay, can you, sponsor me for this? Are they going to read through all the stuff, or, leave it up to the person? Okay, well, this is who Cody was, but, we want to help these two organizations that were very important to him.
Yeah,
Like, so I guess it's trying to get like something that's very succinct for people to tell people that are sponsoring them too, without being too elaborate. I know, because like I've been talking to all my friends and family and say, like, you guys are supporting me in this. And like, I would love for you, I would love for you guys too, to, come out. Like our daughter-in-law, her brother's little nieces, where they just did their first run, and they're 6 and 8 years old. And so I said to their mom, I said, like, do you think you guys would like to participate in this? And of course, yes, but like those little kids are going to go get lots of donations. And so something that's easy for them also to tell people why they're doing it. So
Yeah.
to me, like, because for me, like, I know a ton of younger kids that all want to do it. One of the other practice members, Amy Mulvave here in Devon, she and her son that's not quite 5, they are doing it. Also, they want to also go in the run. And so it's for him to be able to tell people too.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So to me, it has to be something very succinct and something that's easy for younger people, if they want to do it, to be able to tell people why they're doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, for people that are more animal oriented, they're going to donate to the animal rescue, and somebody who has, had some experience or knows somebody who's had sexual abuse, or, wants to do something for the children, then that's what they would choose, right? So I do kind of like that there is a choice there, because I feel like you're also getting 2 different groups of people that might not necessarily want to donate to, just one or the other.
Or both.
Yeah. Me personally, I'm going to donate to both of them. I think they're both great causes. So me as, personally, Jackie, I am going to donate money to both of them if that's what we decide, that we're going to have both of them. Yeah. Does that kind of answer your question there, Shannon? Does that make more sense?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to put it forth to the group and see what it would feel like if we were an outside person
Yeah.
deciding if this is the run for us, or yeah. So that's good. It's good discussion.
Yeah. And does that make sense though? Having a choice? Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Susan. has her hand up.
Oh, Susan.
I was just going back to my notes from the April 12th meeting, and knowing that this is the title is the War Horse Run for Bravery,
Yeah.
and that the log line is benefiting the little warriors by putting so much thought into the rescue for the dogs. Is that, are we going to have to like change the title? Are we going to have, like our first purpose of doing this was for people to become aware of what Cody's the War Horse project. So
Right.
that's just my thought process,
Yeah.
because of course I'm going through all the notes from prior,
Yeah.
and I
for
just
sure.
and I just watched the April 12th meeting an hour ago.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, and I think, like Alita said, the biggest thing is he did not want to be seen as a victim. And he was so well-rounded of a person that she just brought that forward. She said, you guys don't have to do anything with that, but she said just something to think about, right? So we just wanted to bring that forward here and just have a discussion about it with you guys.
Exactly, but I don't think I don't ever look at him as being a victim.
No.
I look at it, right, because if if I could ask everybody, all the ambassadors, to go back and actually listen to that podcast,
Hmm,
and you get the sense of who that person, who the individual was. That
Yeah.
podcast I've listened to, I don't know how many times, but it will help people understand, but not just that, because he wasn't a victim.
No,
He like he rose, and that's why I'm looking at this Run for Bravery is such a great title.
Yeah.
And they are warrior. Everyone is a warrior. So that's what I'm looking at. And especially because we're looking at like the bandanas and tattoos, and like when we're going so individually towards the Warhorse project,
yes.
that's by adding in the dogs, and is that going to take away from everything else? That's my 2 cents.
Thank you. Yeah, I hear what you're saying as well. Tanya?
I agree with Shannon that the information that we give should be super short and sweet and understandable, so the 4 years old can explain.
Yeah,
And that's then on us to properly put this out there as an option, because maybe sounds like, oh my goodness, I only donate to dogs. That's it. If that's the horses, no money. Maybe we can just do, okay, not for them to choose, but we can announce, hey, it's going to be 50-50. All of the money is going to be split in between those two. And then people don't like to take an extra decision to make. So they look, oh, okay, it's 50-50 from all of the money. Maybe that's gonna, I don't know, as an option. I just wanted to share.
okay. Yeah, and again, maybe we don't donate to anything. That's just, or sorry, not to anything. I mean, but we just stick with the original with the Be Brave Ranch and not even bother with the animals. It was just something that was brought to light because that was so important to him. But maybe somebody else can take that project on their own if that's something that, this Alita wants to do or something in the future. And maybe we just stick with the original intent, which was the Be Brave Ranch, right? So that we bring more awareness to them, and then we don't have any more research that we're doing for anything else and making people make a decision.
Well, and I think too, because, we said like, bring your pets on the walk.
Yeah. So
And
maybe that's how we can honor him in that regard. With the
yeah, like,
animals.
this was so important. His dogs were such a huge part of his life.
Yeah.
Bring your dogs, like show off your pets, give your pet, have extra bandanas, and the pets all get one.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Okay.
Because we have the pet part of it already. And, if they're going to do, Kathy's going to do the horse ride instead of walking or running, like we already have animals very involved in it.
Yeah.
And just make sure, like on all of our media stuff too, and like, please bring your pets, like, and say he was a animal lover, and, like still say all that part of it, and really encourage people to bring them.
I like that. Okay, so we basically have 9 people in the group here. Let's just take a consensus on what was that. I mean, this is the majority for sure. Does everyone want to stick with the first, with just the Be Brave Ranch? Yeah. Pam?
Oh.
Yeah, that's a big consensus here. So
Well, because we're almost creating more work for ourselves.
it is, yeah.
On
Okay.
both ends of collecting the
So
money and.
don't do any research on the animals. We're gonna not do anything with that.
Scrap
We're gonna stick with the
Scrappy.
original, which is good. And yeah, I think we just make it
Emphasis.
an emphasis in the social media that people are to be walking with their dogs and horses and any other animals that they can bring into the fold, right? I think that's easier and it's cut and dried, and then we don't have to be worrying about who to choose, and nobody's going to be upset if we don't take that, right?
There's
So,
so many.
okay, good. We got that decided. Woo-hoo! And I will reach out to Alita and let her know that as well. But like I was saying, she was talking about people doing little video clips about what Cody meant to them. And then I think through social media, Mandy will post those closer to the date of people just talking and like a minute or two little clips of what they knew about Cody and just get people interested and wanting to get involved and to donate in the run itself or walk. Okay, perfect. Moving on. I don't know if any of you have been on Facebook or if you've been hearing anything, but Mandy wanted me to bring this forward in the meeting today. June and her husband Brian have lost their home. So for those of you that know June, she is like the most amazing, beautiful being of light in this world and does so much for so many people. There's already a bit of a fundraiser going on where one of her friends has made some t-shirts and people are putting orders in and whatnot. Mandy kind of wanted to do something for her she's a big part of this community as well. And her suggestion was, her and John talked it over, they would like to donate 3 days at their farm in Vernon for somebody. Up to 10 people can stay there when the place gets set up. It will be after September. And Shannon's been very involved in all of this as well, because she's out there working like a dog, basically, on the property, getting it ready. So Mandy and John would like to donate. They're going to be putting the place on Airbnb in September when the place gets delivered, their new home. And they want to donate 3 days. So what we would like to do is have some kind of a raffle that we will set up where people buy tickets. So you buy, 1 ticket for $50 or 3 for 100, like something like that. She wanted us to discuss it on here. They're probably going to put it on Airbnb and it's going to be like $1,500 a night. It sleeps up to 10 people, or it will when they get it set up. So that's a really awesome thing for them to donate for somebody for a 3-day stay. And that's $4,500 worth of a place to stay, basically, in a beautiful area. So they're wondering, Mandy wants us to kind of take that and run with that a bit to help. And all the money will be donated right to Brian and June. So does anyone have any questions? What do you guys think about that?
I think that's very generous and a great idea. I've shared the t-shirts and bought several t-shirts already.
Yeah, yeah.
They're bamboo, so I mean, you can't go wrong, right?
No, you can't. They're beautiful quality for sure. But yeah.
So I had,
So how we,
sorry.
go ahead.
I had put in the chat, like, can we, like, for something like that, can you use that raffle box, or is it only for 50/50s?
I don't know. I've never used Rafflebox, so I don't know how that works, but yeah, we don't want to do a GoFundMe. This is something where they're going to get something out of it. So it is a type of a raffle, but I don't know anything about that at all. Those GoFundMe and those ones are more, you just give the money and there's nothing else involved, right? This would be something in exchange, which I'm hoping will sell even more tickets. Yeah, so what that looks like, no idea. But that was something that she wanted me to bring up with the group to find out if there's anything that you guys know of or how this would look, how it would work. And if we should be doing this at all, which I do believe everyone is in agreement that we should be doing something.
Yeah, we should, but of course, because I work at a school, like, things are totally different. And I know, like, from hockey teams and like raffles, there's actually a lot of stuff around raffles, what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we would work that.
Is Rafflebox an app?
No, like, we just did one at our school and our parent council did it, and it's for them it was a 50/50.
Oh,
And so the person got but I don't know, I can ask Rebecca at school, like, I'll give her a call when I get back to school and ask her if you could do it a different way. But and I know like all the hockey teams and stuff here use them all the time. And it's like the quickest way to get money, really.
Okay, Leanne?
And it's all accounted for and but I'm not sure if you have to have like society. If you have to be a society, like that's the part I'm not quite sure about. And then again, like just to sell tickets on something, there is a little bit of
I think we need a license of some sort. So
license,
that would be
yeah.
something I would check out. Yeah, for sure. Sorry, Leanne, you have a question?
Yeah, thanks. It kind of sounds a little bit like a silent auction type of item, and there are definitely sites that host silent auctions. There are quite a few. We could just do a quick Google search. I would be willing to do that. And it might be an opportunity if other people would like to add something to, I'll just call it a silent auction for the sake of convenience right now. But if there were a few different items that people could contribute to and bid that way, that's a possibility for sure.
Okay,
And then if we were to go through a site, I'm sure they would have it all set up to streamline and make it quite easy too, right?
I think so. Yeah, if there's an app set up or something already, or a website that's set up. Kathy?
So in the barrel racing world, we have these, you buy a license. I don't know much about it, but Nova Productions has made this barrel race into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. So all year long, she does exactly this. She finds something, sells tickets, and literally these tickets are cut up on pieces of paper. They do it on live on Facebook. They sell them on Facebook. You e-transfer, you get a slot in it. She has it all on. If you go on Nova Productions, you'll see everything they do. And she does multiple of these. A friend of mine helped her with some. I could ask her a few questions, but it looks pretty easy, and she's raised thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And exactly what Mandy's doing. So there's something that you're got. So for instance, for us, we have a gift card for $5,000 to Jones Boys Western Wear.
Okay,
Buy this many tickets. Tickets are this amount. Lots of times they're very affordable, so $5 or $10, depending on how much. I mean, she's auctioned off for like $7,000 saddles, like all kinds of stuff. So then she makes it enough so that it covers the cost of what Mandy would charge that out.
okay,
Then she also has that same amount to donate to the, it's called the Big Bang Barrel Race. And so say it's 5,000, so 5,000 to Jones Boys, they get their money, 5,000, and everybody gets a chance to win this trip. And you can buy as many or as little amount of tickets, and she gets a ticket license, and she has created an unbelievable amount of dollars. And it's all on Facebook, on her Facebook page. It's all right up front. Like the thread is all numbered like 1 to 50.
Okay.
And you'll see your name in there, and then pay beside. When you pay, you have to e-transfer right away. And she has a spreadsheet that she just plunks the people in and paid.
awesome.
So I don't know if that's helpful, but
Yeah, we can definitely have a look at that and see what that entails, right? Kristen, you had a question as well?
Yeah, well, I just looked up raffle box, and it doesn't have to be a 50-50. It can be a prize raffle as well. But it does say you must be a registered nonprofit or charity with the CRA agency.
Okay.
However, I mean, tons and tons of teams do this. Are they considered a nonprofit? They
I
are?
think so,
Joyce?
yeah.
Okay, so that's one of their frequently asked questions.
Okay, so we're gonna have to find a different way to to figure this out, because I know there is a possibility of that happening. We might just have to apply for a license or get some kind of a specialty license put together for that through the city. The only problem is that the the actual end prize is not in Alberta, it's in BC, so that might be a little bit difficult as well if we're raffling something off in another province.
Yeah, AJ hasn't had any problems. I can reach out to her and ask her what license where she gets the license from and
Yeah.
forward it to Pam.
Is she a not-for-profit or are they actual business?
Well, I don't know if she takes money or not.
Okay,
I would think she's being paid. She wouldn't do all this work for not getting paid.
yeah,
Does she disclose that? I don't know.
okay. Yeah, if you could find out that information and send that to Pam, that would be excellent. Thanks, Kathy. Does anyone else have any information or any questions? We're getting closer to the time here of 1 o'clock. Leanne?
So I just want to plant a seed here that maybe you can pass on and plant with Mandy is so many ideas that she has sort of need a host of some sort, like a nonprofit or like a charity, that kind of thing. I wonder if Mandy would be interested in creating a foundation that these types of events could launch from.
Yes, yeah. They have talked about that in the past, or we have talked about that. There's a little bit involved in creating one of those, and you have to do so many things a year in order to keep those credentials and whatnot. So I think we just didn't have the capacity in the past, but now we've got people that like the ambassadors and people like that that can help us with some of this stuff. So I think it's something that we definitely need to look into in a bigger light. But yeah, it has come up in the past. We just didn't have the capacity to do it.
That's awesome.
Thank you for that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I will be poking her when she gets back here in the next few days to maybe get moving on that again. Anybody else have anything? Not even questions. What were you going to ask, Pam? If anyone
Well,
has?
if anyone has any updates on any of the tasks that they're working on.
Okay, Tanya.
Hello, yes. I'm still waiting for the logo.
I've tried to send it twice. It is too big, and for whatever reason, it's not going through to you. I can't get it any smaller. So I've reached out to Alita because I think she had them on smaller size that I asked her for them yesterday after I got
What
your
kind of
message.
document do you have? Is it PDF, PNG?
It is PNGs, but they are huge because he had them done professionally.
Yeah.
The
So I can
drawings and
send you, I'm
whatnot.
gonna send you the converter, link to the free converter.
I did convert them and zip them, and they still are too big. So I'm not sure what is going on.
What
with them.
about print it off and take a picture?
Yes, that I can do.
Because that way I still can get a quote. And
Okay,
then once the budget is approved, then we will need to figure out how to send it directly to the factory. At least
Okay,
we'll
let's do
have
that.
it going. Yeah.
okay, done. I'll do
Thank
that
you.
today. Yeah. Updates from anyone else? Miss Susan?
I am curious to see who was going to task the bandanas and that kind of stuff. I didn't know if I believe that there was a task list, was there? I just don't have a task. So I was just wondering, how many people are you guys gearing for?
What's the question?
I wasn't involved back then, so.
Yes, you were.
That's all you
April
get.
11th, April 12th meeting. I was just wondering if there's been any, like, have you guys talked further as how many people do you think that we're going to expect to be involved?
Oh, like
That we're going to,
as
you
per
know, how,
registration
you know, the $75 registration fee, and we're going to give them a tattoo and a bandana and everything. How many are you looking at?
Yeah, that's a good question because
Okay.
I mean, like, I think there's like 4,700 community members total, like about 321 like practice members. And then, I mean, like Joyce has already mentioned that she's talked to people in like in her circle that are want to participate. So we hope it's huge. And yeah, so it's hard to get numbers to say, okay, we're gonna make 500 bandanas or whatever to get quotes, because
Mm,
you know, I know.
Okay.
Also, that was something I spoke to our bookkeeper about this morning, slash, she does some accounting stuff for us as well. I asked her, and also the lady that we talked to from the Brave Ranch this morning, about the registration fee. 75 bucks is pretty steep for what people are getting in terms of, you know, a bandana and a tattoo or whatever, right? So we're probably gonna have to, and that'll just be a donation in kind, whatever paraphernalia that we come up with for people that are gonna be participating, and they'll still have to register, but their registration maybe just becomes like a $25 registration fee so that they can at least get a tax write-off on that. And then anything above and beyond that, you know, they can donate and still get a tax cut or a tax receipt, but nothing below $25. So that whatever we purchase, our bookkeeper said basically that we should just eat that as a company and do a donation in kind for that, right? Because
Okay, thank you.
75 bucks is steep, and I think we won't
It
get as
is.
many people if it's that high.
So you're saying then, so it's $25 to register. Hopefully we'll get a really good deal for the tattoos and the bandanas if we're getting them from overseas. And then if, say that ended up costing $10 a person, and then we'll have a little bit of administration, say that's $5 a person, and there's $10 left per person out of that $25 is all going to be donated to the cause.
Yeah, there
correct?
won't be any
Yeah.
money at all given to Lifestyle Meditation or Mandy Trap, whatever it is. That $25 is full on going to the Be Brave.
Yeah, well, it covered the cost of, you know, the supplies for the, and then
It will not-
everything. Oh,
It will not
no.
cover the cost of the supplies. Those will be a donation by Lifestyle Meditation, basically.
okay,
So that money will come out of the pocket of the business. And Mandy and John can use that as a write-off in their business. So that full $25 registration fee will go directly to the Be Brave Ranch as the full amount. And then if people want to donate more than that, then, I mean, obviously they certainly can. But yeah, to keep things on the straight and narrow and to be easy for the bookkeeper and the accountant and stuff, we can't have stuff coming in and out of our bank account. And yeah, so that's probably just the easiest way to do that, to get rid of, and I think 75 is pretty steep for a registration fee.
It is.
I've worked with other runs and stuff like that around the city, and that's pretty pricey, the 75 bucks. So if everyone is okay with $25 registration fee, which will all be a donation, or we could even do it 30, whatever that looks like, but maybe we say 30 to cover the Be Brave Ranch's admin that they'll need to use for that. Is everyone okay with, say, 30 bucks for registration?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that feels better.
I got some information back for our June, sorry to go backwards, but
Yeah.
it's, my friend who does this, she says it has to be a nonprofit. You have to be approved through AGLC before running a raffle. There is an application process to get started online, I believe. Hope that helps. So I don't know if, you can reach out to AGLC and see if there is something you can do, because it is all going toward, it would, like, I don't know, you'd have to ask, because it is kind of a nonprofit. It's not like June's, I mean, she just lost her house, but
Yeah,
you have to go reach out to AGLC.
okay. Alberta Liquor.
And one other thing, sad, the place that I have secured October 1st, a lot of it has burnt.
Oh, no.
No.
Another,
I have the date secured, so we'll see what happens. It's quite a ways away. Everything should come back green, but it's not gonna be the pretty ride because a lot of trees are burnt.
did they lose any animals?
I don't know. I don't know that. I was at their place. I don't think they lost any animals, but I think across the river did. But the fire jumped the river 3 times, so I don't
Wow.
know. Yeah.
Makes
Yeah.
me-
So anyways, that's my update.
Thank you. Yes, yes, Miss Susan?
Sorry, can you hear me now?
I don't know, I was just like. You go right
And
ahead.
sorry, I keep raising my hand because that's Zoom etiquette, right? Is you have to raise your hand if you
Yeah.
want to speak. So that's why I keep raising my hand. Anyways, is it okay if I take on seeing how much it would cost to do the bandanas?
Yes, that would be excellent. I don't think anyone else was doing that, were they?
Well, Joyce and I thought
But they were waiting for the logos?
Joyce.
Yeah, I'm
and-
getting
Joyce
quotes,
and
but I'm
Shannon.
getting the quotes out overseas once I have the logo. So, Susan, you can take on
And-
Canada or land.
No, I'm like gonna see how much, or if my mom could even undertake doing 500 bandanas, like
Wow.
making them. I'll ask her. The answer is always no, not unless you ask, right?
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So you could find that out too. Okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Because that's local.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
I'll take my hand down now.
Okay, well, we're at 12:58. If anyone else has an update or need to share anything before we're done here, speak now or hold your tongue till next month. Or send an email.
Share it on the page.
Yeah. We will be inviting everybody to that Google Doc for the whole Run for Bravery for Cody. So that'll be sent out later today. And I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us and muddling along with what we learned today, which, hopefully makes a lot of sense. But I think we got everything figured out in terms of we're just sticking with the Be Brave Ranch. And thank you for your input and the discussions.
Thank
Take
you,
care,
everyone.
everybody. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.